The 2026-27 academic year has arrived at Arkansas Tech University, and in celebration of that fact, we have a very special guest. Dr. Russell Jones joined Arkansas Tech University as Dean of what was then known as the College of Business back in 2020. In August of 2023, the Arkansas Tech University Board of Trustees asked Dr. Jones to become interim president, and then in June of 2024, they elected him the 13th president of Arkansas Tech University. Dr. Jones, thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, I'm pleased to be here and excited about the new semester about to take off.
Well, that's exactly where I'd like to start. When we have a new academic year about to get underway, we all have all these students coming our way, seeking education and personal development. What is it about the start of a new academic year that really gets you excited?
Well, first of all, the campus gets a little too quiet for me during the summer. We're here for students, and I know we have a lot of activities during the summer, but seeing the students come back, especially those freshmen coming in, and knowing we want to give them the best greeting, we want to welcome them and show them that we offer them a quality of life as far as education and living and food and everything like this, and seeing them come back, and they're excited. When the students come back here, their first day of college, I know they're a little scared and a little nervous, and the parents are too, but move-in day, we've got it down to a pat. They come here and they say, wow, this is really a welcoming community. They really want us to be here. They're helping us out. And it's really nice to see that scaredness turn into excitement. And then with all the engagements that go on during the welcome week and even beyond, to see them get involved and engaged, it's really exciting.
One of the most distinctive aspects of the 2026-27 academic year is this will be our first full academic year with Ferguson Student Union online. How have you seen that facility and the accompanying Mullins Plaza already begin to change Arkansas Tech?
Oh, it's a game changer. It is our front porch. When you think about where can students hang out, where can they go to study, to talk, to make new friends, to network, there's no better place in the state than the Ferguson Student Union and out in front of the Mullins Plaza. The main example I'll give there is we opened it the week before spring break last year. And so our students got to enjoy it for a month before graduation. But I heard news of several people that said, we were going home for spring break, but we're now going to stay here because we've got a nice student union with all of these activities. And so we're not even going home for spring break. We're going to stay here. And then several times I've been coming up on the weekends and there's a line waiting outside for them to open in the morning. So the students love it. Again, it's one of the best facilities I think we'll see in the state. And it's really going to be a meeting place for everybody here on campus. So it's exciting. And hopefully it'll be even more used. We got all the activities. We've got free fitness classes, Pilates, spin classes, and everything for students. And I think they're going to see that we're going to provide that aspect of living for them as well as the education aspect.
The other big new construction project at Arkansas Tech last year was the Farm Credit Agriculture Building up on the Tech Farm. But that was really just phase one of a two-phase project. If you could tell us a little bit about the future plans for the expansion of the Farm Credit Agriculture Building.
Well, for those that aren't familiar with the Farm Credit Education Building, it currently contains 8 welding stations, 2 plasma cutting stations, and 4 small engine repair stations. That was phase one. Phase two, which will actually begin this month and will be ready for occupancy in January, is a classroom and an office for a full-time welding instructor that will be there to manage the building. And we're so excited about the use of this space. So starting this fall, we'll actually be bringing high school students over starting at 8 o'clock in the morning to take welding classes. Then we'll have college classes during the late morning and early afternoon, and then another group of high school classes in the afternoon. And then our plans are in the future this next year to open it up for community members, adult learners that want to come in and learn welding, maybe get their certification to become welders. So I think it's going to be a highly utilized space. And when the classrooms are built, and that'll, again, be in place by January, I think we'll see that occupied almost 24/7.
In addition to all the new construction, there's also been a period of addressing some of our deferred maintenance needs at Arkansas Tech University, some really important and significant renovation work at facilities like Witherspoon Hall, Ross Pendergraft Library and Technology Center. Hughes Hall got a complete overhaul that allowed us to bring some staff members back on campus. Also, Rothwell Hall has had some cosmetic improvements, as well as several of our student housing facilities. How do you hope those investments pay off for our students this year and in the years to come?
Well, we've been very fortunate in the last 3 years to be able to have a financial year so that we were able to dedicate some monies to those deferred maintenance. If most of our buildings were built between 1930 and 1950, so they're getting almost 100 years old. And back then, these buildings were built without a contingency for maintenance and operation. And so they've needed some tender loving care. And so we've been able to put about $20 million into renovations, into both the academic building and the housing buildings, because, parents are entrusting us with their students, not only to educate them, but to provide a safe environment for them, a nice place to live. And so we're trying to make the buildings and the campus facilities as nice as we can. And we're continuing that on. We've already dedicated for next year. We've got another set of projects for next summer. We have to do most of it during the summer because obviously it's too busy during the fall and the spring. So during the winter break and during the summer break, we do most of our renovations and construction projects. So we already have our plans for next summer to keep us busy.
One other note from the campus beautification front, and it is a significant one, a huge project on the Heinzman Tower lawn. Some irrigation systems installed there, new sod, landscaping around the edge of that, all made possible by the philanthropy of Arkansas Tech alumnus Robert Norman. And I don't know about you, but I think that is going to be, as that sod takes root, I think that as we go for the next few months and the years to come, that's going to be the most beautiful green space on any university campus in our state.
I actually walked through that this morning on the way over here to this building, and it's just amazing. Before, we had some kind of scraggly grass out there and some trees that needed tender loving care, and now it's all a beautiful green space, and the grass is actually like walking on carpet. It's so beautiful. Now you can look out from the back of the library all the way across to the Ferguson Student Union, and all you see is a nice green space. And we do thank, Mr. Norman and others who donated some of the irrigation systems and some of the landscaping. I think it's one of the most beautiful places on campus is just to sit there at the library and look out across that green space.
One of the hallmarks of your presidency so far has been really a willingness and a desire to engage with the students, listen to the students. That was a big part of the Ferguson Student Union design process. They had a big hand in designing that building. And another project that you've been working with the students on for the last couple of years has come to fruition with the new partnership with Sodexo, who's going to provide the food service at Arkansas Tech University moving forward. What are some of the changes that the students will see and taste as a result of that new partnership with Sodexo?
Oh, as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, we have responsibilities not only to educate these students, but also to provide them a safe environment with good living quarters and also good food. And we welcomed Sodexo on at the beginning of last month. We've looked at what they've done at other places. They're currently at Ouachita Baptist in Arkadelphia and also in Jonesboro on the ASU campus. We've seen the wonderful things that they do here. When we interviewed them, they are so excited to come here. They wanted to create a new menu. They want more variety in their menus. And the students actually got a pre-taste of it during the soft opening of the Ferguson building last March, where they put on all the food for them. They're actually, just this week, they've opened the new food center that they'll be in charge of in the Ferguson Student Union with both pizzas and other foods that'll be available there. But they are excited to be here. And Justin, who is our general manager, is actually from here. And so he was working over at the ASU Jonesboro campus. And when the opportunity to come back here with Sodexo, he was so excited. He said he's going to make it one of the best experiences we've ever seen. So we've got an alumni coming back to Russellville, excited about providing food services. And I think the students are going to see a marked difference this year in the quality and the variety in the foods they're offered.
There is evidence of academic innovation throughout Arkansas Tech University as we begin a new academic year. Several curriculum updates on the Ozark campus, on the Russellville campus. The introduction of a new artificial intelligence track within the computer science degree is one of several changes there. As we think about the role of higher education in this rapidly evolving society, and we think about the needs and the feedback that we get from business, industry, and society at large, how can higher education continue to evolve to meet those rapidly changing needs?
Well, when I started in higher education about 35 years ago, if you had an idea for a new program, you can figure it would take about 2 years to get it initiated. And that's just not the way that it needs to be today. We need to have our students prepared when they graduate and leave here, they need skills that are current. They need to be using technologies that are current. We can't be 2 or 3 years behind the curve. And so we really have to work on making sure that we have the most updated curriculum, the most updated technologies. And currently we're adding an AI track. We're looking at increasing our emphasis in our nuclear program. So we have to be able to show that we're going to provide them the best and the most up-to-date information that is. And so we've got to find ways to streamline it. I appreciate the Faculty Senate and their work on this to help that. But we have to be able, when there's a new technology or there's a new field that our students are going to need to know, we need to be able to incorporate that and get it out, not 2 or 3 years from now. We need to have it in the next year and have it available. So we're going to have to learn to move faster in academics. We also, in the last few years, we've been very responsive in offering shorter term credentials because not all students are coming here for a 4-year degree. And so we've increased the number of associate's degrees, but we've also increased certificates and badges to make sure that students, if you want to come 1 year and get into the workforce, we've got something for you. If you want something 2 years, go in the workforce, same thing with 3. So we want you to get the level of education you want and be flexible enough that if you want to go for a year and come and go to work for a couple of years and then come back to us, we sit you right back in and you continue that education. So we're glad to have short-term credentials. We're glad to have new credentials that we offer each year because the world, as we all know, is changing faster and faster, and education cannot lag behind.
We are fortunate at Arkansas Tech to have so many great community outreach programs that spotlight the excellence of our students and our faculty and our staff. And last year was certainly another year in that category as the Arkansas Tech Symphonic Wind Ensemble had the big performance at the College Band Directors National Association Southwestern Division Conference down in Denton, Texas. We had our robotics team finish top 2 in the world. We had a group of young men go to Virginia and finish top 2 in a national contest for electric propulsion in boating. And then there is the Intercollegiate Athletics program at Arkansas Tech. And last year was a banner year for the Golden Suns and the Wonder Boys with conference championships in 6 different sports, tying a school record that was set 31 years previous to that. And now as we look ahead to this year, I think one of the things that's really great about Arkansas Tech athletics is it still kind of looks and feels like traditional college athletics. What do you see as the biggest benefits for fans who maybe haven't been out to a Wonder Boys or Golden Suns game in a few years? What would be the biggest benefit for them to come and join us during 2026-27?
Well, just the excitement that's going. Last year was a banner year. And we're planning on improving on it this year. We've got a lot of the same head coaches coming back, but we've got new coaches. We've got a lot of new players coming back in addition to our return players. And they've already seen what they can accomplish last year. 6 spring championships out of 6. That's pretty good. And then in addition to that, the football team went to a bowl game. The women's basketball played postseason. I mean, we had a great year, and we expect to improve this year. But I will tell you, when I came here the first time I visited the campus, and went to my first football game, I was so amazed at all the activities that were available, the fan support, the student support, the tailgating. I mean, before the ball game, there's a lot of excitement. People are cooking, people are visiting, and they all run in. And then to see the Band of Distinction, you mentioned them, the Band of Distinction coming down. They play right there in front of the entrance, and then everybody goes in, and they really get the audience pumped up, ready for the ball game. And there's just so much excitement around all of our sporting activities. And the student sections that we've created in football and basketball are great. We love to see them come and cheer people on. So I think this year is going to be even better than last. Now, I don't know how you do better than 6 championships, but I'm hoping for 7 this year. But, and the nice thing about it is, it's good family entertainment at a reasonable cost. If you're in the River Valley anywhere around and you're not doing anything on a ball game night, come out and visit and see what's going on. You'll have a great time supporting the Golden Suns and the Wonder Boys and cheer them on to victory. It's a great opportunity for our town and the River Valley to come out and see collegiate sports at its best.
As you and I sit here, it's too early to talk about specific numbers for fall 2026 enrollment, but as you've watched that evolve over the last few months, and as we head toward that 11th class day on September 2nd when the fall preliminary enrollment becomes official, what are some of the enrollment trends that you're seeing at Arkansas Tech as we head into this semester?
Well, we've seen in the last 2 years, we've set records each year in retention. So we've seen the retention numbers at 75 to 77%, and those are remarkable compared to the 60-something percent that we had in the decade before that. But for this particular year, we've seen two things grow. One is we're currently running about 5% increase in freshmen, and that's amazing. We love to see the freshman class coming in. And then the other thing, we're seeing about a 25% increase in transfer students. So the word is getting out of what we have to offer, and people are saying, I think I want to go to Tech. And I think those are going to grow. Now, even though freshman numbers are going to grow and transfer numbers are going to grow, we did graduate very large classes the last 2 years, so we have to replace those. And so I'm still planning. I would make a prediction that our enrollment on the 11th class day is going to be somewhere between 8,900 and 9,100. I believe last year we had 9,050, so we're going to be right in that again. But again, the thing to harp on is those freshmen are up 5%, and with those retention rates staying as high as they are, that means we keep them for 4 years. And so I think it's going to look good. I think we've seen the curve start back up, and I'm happy to have the ones that come here. Again, we're getting the word out, and all we need to do is get them here. And I think once they experience the Tech difference, I think they're going to stay.
Well, as we have had a chance to briefly touch on during this visit, Arkansas Tech University is many things to many people. When you think about the university as a whole, what is our collective promise to the students who choose Arkansas Tech?
I think that you're going to get a quality education for a reasonable price. I think you're going to have a safe environment to learn in. And we have a lot of signs around campus. We say a community of caring. And that's what, when I first came to visit here, that was the one that got my attention, is that everybody cared about each other and that everybody was friendly. Everybody waves at each other. The faculty, the staff, and the students. They are all like one happy family. And it shows. The other thing, when I talk about getting a quality education for an affordable price, one of the metrics that Arkansas Tech is recognized for over and over again is social mobility. Now, social mobility is a fancy word for return on investment. Are the students getting an education that exceeds the cost, getting an education that the value of which exceeds the cost of attending? We are number one in the state and have been for years, and we're in the top 5% in the country in social mobility. That means that the money and the time that a student invests with us is going to pay back quicker with us than most every other university, because you're going to get an education that's going to help you better your life, your family's life for decades to come. And so we're going to give you, again, safe environment, a caring community, good food, as we talked about, activities, engagement activities with either sports or other type clubs and social organizations, and we're going to make it worth your time to come here. And I think once you get on campus and you experience the Tech difference again, I think you're going to stay here and not leave until you graduate.
We extend best wishes to the students, faculty, and staff of Arkansas Tech University for a great academic year in 2026-27. If you are a prospective student interested in learning more about Arkansas Tech University, we invite you to go to atu.edu. If you'd like to learn more about the events and activities at Arkansas Tech, be sure to follow arkansastechnews.com and atu.edu/calendar throughout the academic year to learn how you can get involved with Arkansas Tech. And one last pro tip, be sure to go to youtube.com/Arkansas Tech, click that subscribe button, and enjoy all the great video content that our Director of Digital Content, Ryan Taylor, will be producing throughout this academic year. Dr. Jones, thank you very, very much for joining us, and best wishes to you for a great academic year.
Thank you, Sam. I look forward to everybody coming out, visit the campus. Take a tour. I believe this is the place for you, and once you get here, you'll see the Tech difference. Thank you.
That is Dr. Russell Jones, the 13th president of Arkansas Tech University. Until next time, so long, everybody.